Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you are doing well. Today we're going to talk about the range of Amazfit watches and which one is the best, which one should you buy and why. The Verge, the Stratos, the Pace, the Bip and the Arc. So I've owned 5 of them. I believe there's one more called the Amazfit Core. That's the only one I haven't owned, but we're still going to include it in this comparison. So I've done reviews on basically all of these products in this channel, so you can go see the individual reviews if you want to. I will list them below. So let's start with the most recent watch, the Amazfit Verge. The Verge has an AMOLED screen, 1.3 inch, a resolution of 360 by 360. It has 512 megabytes of RAM, 4 gigabytes internal memory. It has GPS, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. It has an advanced heart rate sensor, so that's key, advanced heart rate sensor according to Amazfit. So it can track your heart rate, your sleep, your steps, distance, calories. It has both a speaker and a microphone, which is a key feature, so keep that in mind. It's IP68 water resistant, so you can take it swimming. And it costs between $160, $180 depending on where you buy it from. So in my opinion, the Verge is probably the best Amazfit smartwatch for fitness tracking, for tracking in general, because it has the most up-to-date sensors, and I have found the heart rate sensor in the Verge to be more accurate. It also has the GPS, which is very key for fitness tracking if you are running, if you are doing anything outside. It also looks more like a fitness watch rather than like a fashion accessory. I mean, it's kind of got a basic design. Having said that, the screen is actually the brightest and the most colourful out of any of the Amazfit smartwatches. It's got AMOLED, whereas the others use LCD for the most part, and I found the AMOLED one to be much more attractive than the LCD screen. The thing I would say about this watch is that I don't really like the strap that it comes with. I mean, it made me a bit like itchy on my wrist, so I've ordered a different strap. It is quite thick as well, so if you have very thin wrists, that could be an issue for you. But overall, I've been impressed with the watch for its price. It's got some advanced features. It's also the only Amazfit watch where you can take calls from your wrist. Okay, so that's the Verge. Let's move on to the next one, which is the Amazfit Stratos. Now, this is the largest and most expensive smartwatch in the Amazfit range. It is probably the most attractive one as well. Clearly, a lot more effort has been put into the design of this watch than the Verge, for example. It has a 1.34-inch LCD screen with a resolution of 320 by 300, 512 megabytes of RAM, 4 gigabytes internal memory, has GPS, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi connection, has a heart rate sensor, an accelerometer, a gyroscope, a barometer, and a compass. Now, it can track your steps, your calories, your heart rate, distance, speed, sleep quality, and VO2 max, which is pretty good for, I think that's to do with climbing heights or climbing or something. I'm not too sure, but it can do that. You can't take calls from the watch. I mean, it will notify you when you are being called, so it will vibrate and tell you who's calling you, but then you need to take the call from your phone. It does not have a microphone. It is waterproof up to 50 meters, which is the best waterproof rating out of any Amazfit smartwatch. So if you are a serious swimmer, then this could be the one for you. And it costs around about $200. Sometimes you can find it a bit cheaper, maybe $190, $180, depending if there's a sale on or something. But, you know, that's roughly what you're going to be spending. Now, my opinion of this watch is that it is the best looking. Sometimes at first glance, it doesn't even look like a smartwatch. I will say that it's also the thickest watch out of any of the Amazfit watches, so keep that in mind. But even I have thin wrists, as you can see here, and I found it to be fine. The only thing is it's not comfortable to sleep with, so if you wanted it to use it as a sleep tracker. The screen, like I said, is an LCD, and the good thing about it is that it can be always on all the time, and it doesn't really drain too much battery, so you can see all your data straight away when you look at the watch. So this is the flagship Amazfit watch, and I would say it does have the best looks, it's the best design, the best materials, and so it's a good all-round. If you wanted it to look good and to be able to track your fitness very well, then it can do both those things. Now onto the Amazfit Pace, which I don't have right here because I gave it to a friend, but I did own it for about 3 or 4 months and I reviewed it, so you can check out the review. It was released before the Stratos as kind of Amazfit's first fully fledged smartwatch that was kind of had a good touch screen. Yeah, it's essentially in almost every way the same as the Amazfit Stratos, apart from the design and apart from the fact that it's not waterproof. If you prefer the design of the Pace and you are not too bothered about taking it in water, then go for that because it's cheaper. Now onto the Amazfit Bip, which is one of my favorite watches of all time. It's such a little trooper. I cannot believe how much you can get out of this cheap watch. It's got a 1.2-inch reflective color display. It's 176 by 176 resolution, so not the best in the world, but for its price, not too bad. It's got Bluetooth and GPS. It's got a heart rate sensor, a pedometer, and accelerometer, so it can track your sleep, your heart rate, your steps, your calories, your distance you traveled. Okay, it can connect to your phone for notifications, WhatsApp, Facebook, calls, text, and it's IP68 rated, so you can kind of take it underwater. Probably the best feature of this watch though is the amazing battery life. It lasts up to 45 days on one charge, and that is actually accurate. I mean, I've been using this now for nearly a year, and I've charged it probably like 3 or 4 times in the whole time I've owned it. It's the best value Amazfit watch. I think maybe the best value smartwatch in general. If you don't want to spend a lot of money, if you want to spend under $100, this is the best one to get right now, regardless of the brand. Okay, onto the Amazfit Core, which is the only one I haven't owned, so I will be honest, I've not owned this watch, not used it. But from what I can see, it's basically a smart band rather than a smart watch. It does have a 1.2-inch LCD display that can display some icons and some apps. It has Bluetooth connectivity, so it doesn't have GPS. It also has a heart rate monitor, so it tracks your heart rate, your steps, your movements, your calories burnt, all that kind of stuff. So it's essentially a fitness band that tracks your daily activities. But I mean, it's very, very small, very, very light, very, very thin. So if you wanted something that was a bit more comfortable than the larger watches that I've shown you, and you just wanted to track things like your sleep and how many steps you've done, some basic stuff like that, then this could be a good value option because it's also very, very cheap. Now onto my final one, the Amazfit Arc. It's essentially just a tiny little watch with a heart rate sensor, a pedometer, and it also tells the time. So it will track your heart rate and it will track your steps, and it also connects to the really good, by the way, Amazfit Fitness app that's available on Android and iOS. All these watches work with that app to feed data in, and then you can visualize it. It works really well, it looks really good, very easy to use. But you won't get a huge amount of information out of the Amazfit Arc because it is really basic. It costs around about $50, and to be honest, if you were going to spend $50, why not just spend $20 more, $30 more on the Amazfit Bip, which has 5 times more features and a much longer battery life. Okay guys, so those are all of the Amazfit watches. If I had to choose one, I would struggle to choose one, to be honest. I'll be honest and say that I've worn the Amazfit Bip the most out of all of them, mostly because it's so comfortable, it's so light. But if I absolutely had to choose just one, then I would go for the Verge, because it has that bright, colourful screen, it looks really good. Even though the plastic body isn't so great, I think the screen makes up for it in terms of vibrance and colour. And it also has the most up-to-date technology, so it's not going to be out of date as soon. It has that advanced heart rate monitor. If you have any questions about Amazfit watches, then feel free to leave a comment and I will get back to you. But until next time, I hope you have a good day and I will see you later. Bye.